dribbles. Jackson.
It's Big East basketball. Tonight's game features the Huskies of Connecticut versus the Wildcats of Villanova. Big East basketball is brought to you by U.S. Air. U.S. Air warms up your winter with flights to Florida, Arizona, and California. By your local Chrysler, Plymouth, and Dodge dealers. By AT&T, the right choice. And by the owners of Days Inns Hotels and Suites in the Big East Conference.
UConn basketball is brought to you in part by Miller Genuine Draft, Connecticut Bank and Trust, and Midas.
From a sold-out DuPont Pavilion on the campus of Villanova University, tonight Big East basketball as the Huskies take on the Wildcats. Hi again, everyone. I'm Frank Daly. Well, both clubs right around 6th place in the Big East. Why is that important for both teams tonight? Well, consider that Villanova has the one-game lead in 6th place, the one-game lead over Connecticut. And also you have to consider that many people think as many as 6 teams from the Big East Conference could be going to the NCAA National Championship Tournament. When we come back, I'll be joined by Ron Perry, and we will have tonight's Ava Scouting Report right after these messages from your local station. Back here at the DuPont Pavilion, I'm joined by Ron Perry, the former Holy Cross All-America. Ron, you figure the big guys in the middle for each team will be key tonight?
I really do. I think it's a game where rebounding and defense will be very important. For Connecticut, Cliff Robinson has been the mainstay. He's averaging under 20 points a game, but leads the team in scoring and rebounding. And when he scores 20 or more points, the team is 8-1. He has to avoid fouls and be strong inside. And for Villanova, Tom Grice is the guy who could really come up big in this one. He is big. He's 7'3". He's at least 4 inches taller than any of the UConn Huskies. Has a soft touch inside, has to be defended. The boards will be important because you'll dictate the tempo off that. I think it's a game that'll play in the 50s or 60s, though.
How about some of the young players, the freshmen on each club? Might they be key?
I think so. Chris Smith did not play in the first outing between these two teams. He's very quick, tough in the open court. And Mark Dowdell, big things expected of him. He's playing well. Both of these kids are starting. If one of them has a big game, it could be the difference. In fact, there's to be a tight one.
All right, here at Villanova, we are rocking and rolling tonight. It's a full house. When we come back, we'll have the introduction of tonight's starting lineups right after Villanova comes into the game right now with a mark of 5-6 in the Big East. And the Connecticut Huskies, one game behind at 4-7. And we are going to go shortly to the introduction of tonight's starting lineups. Here's our announcer, Al Alaya.
Good evening and welcome to Villanova University's DuPont Pavilion as the Big East Conference presents tonight's game between the University of Connecticut Huskies and the Villanova University Wildcats. Starting at guard for Connecticut, a 6'2" freshman from Bridgeport, Connecticut, number 13, Chris Smith. For Villanova, a 5'9" senior from Jersey City, New Jersey, number 3, Kenny Wilson. For Connecticut, a 6'4" senior from Washington, D.C., number 25, Phil Gamble. For Villanova, a 6'6" senior from Altoona, Pennsylvania, number 42, Doug West. Starting at center for Connecticut, a 6'11" senior from Buffalo, New York, 00, Cliff Robinson. For Villanova, a 7'3" junior from Huntington, New York, number 33, Tom Rice. At forward for Connecticut, a 6'9" freshman from Florence, South Carolina, number 22, Rod Sellers. For Villanova, a 6'5" senior from the Bronx, New York, number 22, Gary Messi. For Connecticut, a 6'6" sophomore from Torrington, Connecticut, number 20, Murray Williams. And for Villanova, a 6'9" freshman from Howell, New Jersey, number 32, Mark Dowdell. The head coach in his third season at the University of Connecticut is Jim Calhoun. And in his 16th season at Villanova University, Raleigh Massimino.
Big one tonight for Villanova and Connecticut here in Philadelphia. We'll be back with the opening tip right after these messages. Officials working tonight's Big East contest. Mickey Crowley on the left, in the center, Gene Monge and Tom Corbin. We are underway, and Connecticut has the initial possession here at the DuPont Pavilion. Smith with a drive and a push in the paint, no. Massey with a rebound, and we look at Wilson. Doug West, the freshman, kicks it back outside. Grice is high, guarded by Robinson. That's a key matchup this evening.
Really is. UConn opening up in a man-to-man. Look for Villanova to play their matchup zone. Robinson cannot get into foul trouble early in this ball game against Grice.
Into the paint, the jump hook. Grice, he got the roll. Tom Grice averaging almost 15 a game. And a turnover by Phil Gamble. Smith was guarding Wilson, now West. Cut pass inside of Dowdell. The freshman muscles his way up, can't get anything. And Smith comes back. Robinson, 0-0 against Rice. Got the window and nothing else.
Tough shot by Robinson, forced it a little bit.
Gary Massey in the corner. Rice against Robinson. Could not control. Smith on the break. Sellers. No basket. Blocking Cole. Rod Sellers picks up the first foul of the game.
Well, I think the tempo of this game a little quicker right now than we'll see it as we get into the game. Both teams will take break opportunities if they're there, but they both prefer the half-court game.
Last time these two clubs met in Hartford, Connecticut won at the buzzer, 57-55. A low-scoring game. Both teams feel more comfortable with the game in the 50s or 60s.
And their records indicate that they're successful when they keep the scores down.
Dowdell drove by Sellers but couldn't score.
And where they both do that, I think you've got a couple of similar teams here, and the ones that can really execute better in the half-court game should win this one.
Smith down to the baseline, and Gamble back to Smith. This is Gamble now. Post-up pass into Robinson. Common foul before the shot on Tom Grice. Or was it Mark Dowdell?
Looks like they caught Dowdell with it. He was in the match with Robinson. Kind of a touch foul there, but the ruling a little too much with the body. Villanova in their patented 2-3 matchup zone defense. It looks a lot like man-to-man, but when UConn sends the cutters through, they just pass the people off. So it's a zone with the man-to-man principles.
Up to Smith. This is the senior. Gamble harassed into the corner to Smith. Good defensive strip by the Wildcats. Smith for three. He can fill it.
Well, among other things, one of the reasons why the UConn faithful is so excited about this freshman, he can shoot it up. He also handles the ball extremely well, a lot of quickness, and that's why Chris Smith is in the starting lineup.
And Connecticut settles into a zone on the perimeter. Doug West.
It's like a 2-3 zone.
Good look to Dowdell. Got Williams off his feet. Dowdell got it back and scored.
Nice effort by the freshman. Looked like he was bumped when he went up the first time, but he stayed with it.
4-3 ball game. Villanova by one. Connecticut with the basketball now on the attack.
Well, we talked about the freshmen at the beginning, and that's why they're both main factors in this ball game.
Murray Williams to Sellers. Had a lane momentarily. No roll there for him. West the rebound. And the Wildcats come back up at home. Boy, Ryan, when this building is filled, it's a factor.
Nice block
from behind.
All ball by Robinson.
Smith pulls up. Swish.
Now, and that's the semi-break that Jim Calhoun will look to take in this game if the opportunity presents itself, and it did that time, off of the defense.
Chris Smith, the freshman out of Bridgeport, Connecticut, has the Huskies points. It's a 5-4 Connecticut lead.
Huskies going with the 2-3 zone after the made field goal.
West doubled quickly. Back out to Grice. Kenny Wilson against Smith. Banged away by Gamble, got a hand on it. And back comes Villanova. No backcourt violation there. Or was there, Ron?
Well, it was very close. 1 foot went back, but it was on the possession, I think.
West shot missed. Grice follows up and scores. Tom Grice with 4. 6-5, Villanova by 1.
I think the ruling there was that he caught it, and he straddled the line and then came back.
Chris Smith. Williams. The senior Gamble.
Both of these teams are very good defensively. Only way to beat these zone defenses is to move the basketball and swing it across court.
And that's just what Connecticut is doing right now. Gamble against Wilson. Nowhere to go.
Other thing you've got to do is penetrate.
Post up pass Sellers against Grice. Grice got a hand on it. And Gamble got a hand on that one. Gamble tried to get a little too cute, but Smith comes up and helps out.
Both teams a little careless with the basketball early, trying to get things done too quickly.
Williams is open, he won't shoot. Smith will for 3, his second three.
He is getting it done. We thought that he'd be important in this one for Connecticut. Did not play the first time these two teams met. He's healthy right now, feels good, and has he got the shooting touch going.
And as Connecticut is healthy too, he has all of the points. 8. West shot was tipped by Gamble. Going to be a Connecticut ball. And we've got a timeout, 14-18 to go. First half, 8-6, Huskies by a deuce. We'll be back after this from our local stations. Just about 6 minutes gone by in the first half here at Villanova, and Chris Smith has all the points. And Ronnie, you said at the top that the young kids, the rookies, the freshmen would be key, and they are so far.
Well, that's right, and we talked about Dowdell for Villanova. How about that second effort by the young freshman, getting it done in the paint? And Chris Smith with all of the Husky points early in this one. No hesitation from three-point land. He's hit both of his three-point tries, and he's got all 8 Husky points.
Right now, Villanova 3 of 9 for just 33%, and Connecticut has made 3 of 7. Neither team really lighting it up, except for Chris Smith, who has a total of 8 points on 3 of 4 shooting from the field, including the 2 trades.
The defense has been pretty good. I think both teams looking for it kind of quickly. A couple of those Villanova misses were blocked by Connecticut as Villanova extends that 2-3 a bit. They got the freshman Chris Walker out there now with Wilson. Mr. Clutch.
Gamble. They're going to have to guard him tight now. Smith with a hot hand.
There's Chris Walker right now and Murray Williams. He's won 3 games this year for the Wildcats.
Post up pass Robinson. Oh, and a good move down the baseline, right around downhill.
Now Cliff Robinson, a good sign for Connecticut, has got to be involved. And early in this one, that's only his first basket, but he's touching the ball a lot.
Robinson averages just about 19 points a game. West deep out on the wing.
Huskies man now.
Dowdell against Robinson.
Tom Grice out of the lineup. Connecticut with a lot of pressure on the basketball.
West could not save his own mistake as he kicked it out of bounds. Turnover for Villanova. Now this is the first look for Villanova this year at Chris Smith. He did not play in that first contest as he was out with an ankle injury early in the Big East season. And we're getting a good look at him right now in the first half.
Well, he might have been discussing that first Villanova timeout. He's got to be played. He can shoot it.
Gamble against Walker. Pull the trigger. Back rim, nothing else.
Nice hustle.
Hustle.
Wow, he's into the stands on that one.
Pass to McLeod.
Now give all the credit in the world there to the hustle by Murray Williams.
12-6, Connecticut start.
Doug West has got to get more involved in the Nova offense. Good D again.
Huskies are hot right now at both ends. Murray Williams backs Dowdell to the baseline. McLeod with an offensive board, second chance. Robinson right from the corner of the key. Got the lip and nothing else. Dowdell defensive board.
UConn playing very tough D right now. Kenny Wilson's got to look to orchestrate a little bit more, get some penetration.
West against Gamble. Post up pass, Taylor. Taylor will go to the line.
Willie McLeod's giving up a lot of weight inside to Rodney Taylor, about 35 to 40 pounds. He's muscling up, but that time Taylor just overpowered him.
Substitutions again. Dowdell and Wilson leave. So Villanova right now going with Tom Grice back in the lineup, along with Walker, West, Massey, and Taylor. Going to look at Tate George. He did not get a start tonight. He replaces the senior Phil Gamble.
Now, Phil Gamble struggled in the Seton Hall loss, a three-pointer, this past week at the Hartford Civic Center. He just had 3 or 4 points in that ball game. He's the kind of kid, though, if he gets his stroke going, he can put the points up.
Taylor shooting about 76% from the line. A very good rebounder at 6.1 boards per game. Taylor will give you a little bit of offense, too. He's very, very strong around the basket.
He's a real worker. Likes to bang.
Got a couple of free throws there. 12-8, still Connecticut. We are at the DuPont Pavilion on the campus of Villanova University. Frank Healy with Ron Perry. A look-off pass by Smith is tipped out of bounds, but still a Connecticut ball.
That was a great penetration by Smith. Had it. All he needed was the bounce pass.
Tate George against Gary Massey. McLeod.
Man-to-man now by the Wildcats.
Good defense. McLeod in the wing.
Yeah, Willie
drains it.
Willie's got a good touch, and he's been a spark plug off the bench. Rebounding, hustling in this one. He's got the shot going.
Well, he averages 5 points a game. He's got 4 right now. Good defense again by Connecticut. Let's come up and pressure Walker in the ball.
It was kind of a surprise trap there. Walker not ready for it. UConn really aggressive on the defensive end.
We're going to break in the action, 11:45 to go. Connecticut on top. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. This copyrighted telecast is produced by authority of the Big East Conference and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Big East Conference is prohibited. The ball belongs to the Wildcats at home at West.
Connecticut right now in a 1-3-1. They're really mixing the defenses.
Walker fills it up for 3. Chris Walker averaging only 2.6 a game.
But he's made his points count. Florida State, Pittsburgh, and Providence this year. 3 games where Walker has hit the game winners. Really clutch effort off the bench.
Nova gets to 3. 11:15 remaining first half. Smith against Walker.
Nice look.
Oh, what a look to McLeod. Walker back Tate George.
Nice work by Walker.
Excellent decision by the freshman. West moves to the baseline. And as he did, he was fouled from outside.
We're seeing some excellent ball handling. Chris Walker for Villanova, nice lift off the bench, and Chris Smith with a great penetrating move, although McLeod couldn't connect on it, and Rolly Massimino now really working the bodies in and out of the lineup.
Tate George picked up the last foul. West inbounds to Taylor. Look at that strength inside, but not a touch. Still a Villanova ball.
UConn making Villanova work very hard for everything. That was a case where 2 Huskies collided and knocked it out of bounds.
Wilson on the point, guarded by Tate George. West for 3. Doug West averaging almost 19 a game.
Well, Doug West, tough man to keep down. He's involved now.
We are tied at 14. Little over 10 minutes to go first half, and the crowd getting into it now at the DuPont Pavilion.
Yeah, that's another factor with the three-pointer. It gets the home team involved.
Phil Gamble, guarded by Massey. McLeod in the corner. Grice comes out, gives some token pressure. McLeod leans. No roll. Foul is on Williams.
Well, we're seeing a little shift in momentum right here as it's a 6-point run by the Cats. They're back into it. And I think they've gotten that mini run, Frank, by playing good defense themselves. So it's, as we thought it might play out, the defense very important in this one.
Late in the Big East season, Rolly Massimino with a 5-6 record for his Wildcats. Jim Calhoun at 4-7 in the conference.
Such a big game, though. Both teams know they've got to be very successful down the stretch to get into the tournament. Oh, that's a hole by Tate George.
Not a bad idea.
Nice effort. I mean, nice try, but saw that one right away. And a win here for UConn puts them in a three-way tie for 6th place with St. John's and Villanova in the Big East standings. A win by the Wildcats really solidifies them in 5th place. Tate George, a little hold there. That's Kenny Wilson by the waist.
So Kenny Wilson will direct traffic right now. Right by Chris Smith. Robinson comes up and harasses Grice. Grice gets a handle back on it. Grice, 14-footer. Tom Grice with 6.
That's where you want to get Grice the basketball, just inside the foul line. Not where he caught it the first time, about 30 feet from the goal. What a touch for a big man. He's 7'3".
16-14, Villanova by Deuce. Smith all alone into the paint area. No rule for him there.
Looks like it's going to go on the big guy, yeah. Villanova much more aggressive out of this man-to-man defense. Nice adjustment by Rolly Massimino. Jim Calhoun on the other end has had good defensive effort by UConn with a lot of different looks.
First foul on Tom Grice. Robinson in the corner guarded by Taylor. And there's a little mini step by Cliff Robinson and the Husky turnover.
He's really got to get his game going for the Huskies. They've got to find him at low post. Only got 2 points so far, not a factor.
Set the Villanova lineup, front line, Grice, Dowdell, and Taylor setting a pick right there for Wilson. Off it goes to Dowdell, and he uses the glass. Mark Dowdell does not look like a freshman.
What a beautiful shift by Kenny Wilson. Split the defense and set the table.
Villanova now on a 12-2 run. And they have an 18-14 lead.
Connecticut trying to work a double-stack offense. They've got to try to isolate this man.
Under the pressure, Robinson turned the ball over.
Kenny Wilson from behind, put it right off the big guy's leg.
Wildcat ball, and the fans enjoying it at DuPont.
Only way you can settle down a crowd like this is to score on the offensive end, and on that play, that just gets the home crowd that much more pumped up.
Look at the defense by Connecticut, forcing a turnover this way. 6 turnovers now on Villanova.
The old shuffle step, Rolly Massimino saying, how can he walk with the ball while he's dribbling it? But at the end, he shuffled his feet, and that was the call.
Chris Smith, very deliberate out on the right wing deep. Drop down pass to Robinson. Look at Grice, got a hand on it. Robinson got it back. The arrow will favor Villanova.
That was all ball on the rejection. Cliff tried to let go of it. You see Cliff Robinson go up. And right there's your jump ball call. Comes down with it. Gene Monge all over it.
Robinson off to a slow start from the field from inside. He's just 1 of 4. Good defense by both clubs.
Robinson's got to release that ball right away to avoid the jump.
All by himself, Dowdell. Gamble the guard, the defensive board. And the Huskies come up into the attack. Smith against Wilson.
Tough shot.
Shot by Smith. Well, he is hot. He has 10.
That's a runner. That's a tough shot. A kid has to have a lot of confidence to take that one and make it.
Well, he has both, at least this night.
1-3-1 now by the Huskies. They'll try to trap in the corners.
Smith against Wilson.
This is where the swing of the basketball is so important. You can get the long shot.
Another turnover for the Wildcats.
Kind of a careless, over-the-shoulder job by Wilson. Don't see that very often.
Gamble, he'll pull the trigger for 3.
That's his first basket of the game, and the co-captain, along with Cliff Robinson, both players playing in their 100th basketball game for Connecticut.
Bill Gamble averaging just over 12 points a game. Dowdell in the corner. Back around the perimeter. Kenny Wilson's short. That's going to be a Connecticut ball, and a host of substitutions now for both clubs. And we'll get them as soon as we come back from this timeout. 7:04 to go. 19-18 is our count here in Philadelphia. We'll be back after this. We're going to get a look right now at Tom Grice, right at the top of the key.
Well, he had caught the ball before that about 30 feet from the goal, got it back to his backcourt man, and got it inside the foul line where he's so tough. What a half by this freshman, Chris Smith. 2 of his 10 first half points, and that one, a very tough runner going to his left.
All right, this is Smith running the baseline. Back outside to Williams. He's guarded by Walker, and Villanova right now in the zone. 19-18. Connecticut leads by 1, and the Huskies have the ball.
Villanova back in their 2-3 matchup zone defense. Played a lot of man, and I think that's why they got themselves back in the driver's seat in this one, or at least made it a 1-point game.
Gamble cuts it inside, and the follow by DePriest.
DePriest better known for his defense, but he'll take the lucky bounce anytime, as that one came right to him.
21-18, Huskies. Messi, Gamble is on here. Walker is outside. Good defensive trip here by Connecticut. Post up pass Grice. Turnaround pop. No roll. Dowdell knocked him out of bounds. Second foul on Mark Dowdell. We're going to get another look at that last play.
Well, he scraps inside. Tommy Grice should have got glass on that one, and Dowdell over-aggressive on the offensive boards.
In the front court, Phil Gamble, harassed by Walker. And Villanova settles into the zone. It's a 21-18 Connecticut lead.
Gary Massey, when he's in the lineup and he's playing the number 2 guard spot, so aggressive in the backcourt, really extending UConn's offense.
Look at him collapse on Robinson. He missed everything.
That's Phil Gamble way over the top on that one, and Robinson pressing a little bit right now, shaking his head. Got to just go up with a little bit more authority, see if he can get himself to the foul line, if not score.
First foul on Gamble, the 16th foul on Connecticut. Villanova with three team fouls right now. 5 minutes and 26 seconds remaining. First half of action. Frank Daly with Ron Perry. Good Big East matchup. Both similar clubs as a reach-over foul.
A couple of very interesting matchups out there. Maury Williams giving weight inside to Rodney Taylor. Lyman DePriest chasing Doug Westall over, and Cliff Robinson, maybe the key matchup inside with Tommy Grice.
So Villanova will go into the 1-and-1. That is the 7th team foul, and the second on Maury Williams. And Taylor will be at the free throw line. He hasn't hit a field goal yet. He has missed once from the field, but he had stepped to the line previously and made them both. And pretty good rebounder, as that graphic shows. Taylor's made 3 free throws.
UConn snapped a 14-game Villanova winning streak in this series with the win earlier this year at the Hartford Civic Center. So Villanova has certainly enjoyed a lot of wins against UConn. UConn trying to change that around, though, this year.
No second chance for Villanova. And the Connecticut Huskies come up with a freshman Smith on top of the ball, guarded by Walker. Now the senior Gamble, he's free for 3. A little bit too long. Moving inside, Maury Williams. Couldn't get the basket to fall, but he was fouled. Aggressive offensive rebound by Maury Williams of Connecticut.
Looked like the freshman Chris Walker was trying to set up a 1-2-2 zone defense and just vacated the spot where Gamble was. One of the key things you've got to do from the point spot defensively is stay with the man with the ball. Gamble just off the mark, but he was wide open.
Williams is a fair free throw shooter, the sophomore. Well, I didn't jinx him, Ron Perry.
Usually that's all you have to say.
Already Williams has 5 rebounds in the game.
He's really been playing much better the last few games.
Substitution as Walker comes out, Kenny Wilson comes in for the Cats.
Maury Williams had the preseason injuries. He lost a lot of valuable time, but he's coming on right now.
Made 1 of 2. 22-19, Connecticut.
A little teamwork by the officials. Mickey Crowley had a good view of that one from behind. That'll stay Wildcat way.
Villanova retains possession.
Good work by the officials. Right there, it was deflected by Cliff Robinson. That one was a little bit easier to see from the angle that the outside official had.
Barney, the last couple of years, I think the officials have been more willing to confer.
I think you're right.
That will not be a goaltending call, or will it be offense?
I don't think it will be.
It'll be offense on Greg Woodard.
Very close, though. You're better off to leave this alone. Cliff Robinson will enter your picture and block this shot. There's your charge. That ball was not on its downward flight with a chance to go. That was a good no call. Not a goaltend, but it wasn't offensive.
On the perimeter, Campbell. Halfway down, Robinson stripped from behind by West.
Villanova has really worked defensively in this first half against Cliff Robinson. Try to put a body on him wherever they can and double him up as they have right there. West, though, a little bit too much arm.
Robinson shooting just under 70% at the line. And when he has the big game, the 20 or more point games, usually Connecticut will win.
They 8-1 in those games. We scored over 20. And what you do with a big guy like this is try to frustrate him by not letting him get the ball, because once Robinson gets it low, he's tough to stop. Nova trying to body him up.
Second free throw, perfect. Robinson makes 2, he has 4. But from the field, he is but 1 of 5 and only a single rebound. 24-19, Connecticut. Rice outside. Trying to ball hawk there is Smith.
Half-court tempo game, a lot of defense. Really, half-court execution offensively is the key.
Crowd wanted Woodard to shoot.
Pretty stingy defenses by both teams in this first half. Tough to get the points.
Wilson try to penetrate. Look-off pass to Woodard. No basket as he traveled. So Woodard has come into the game. He's committed an offensive foul and then turned the ball over.
Not a very popular call here. Gonna be a hot move. There's your walk call underneath. I think that was a tough one. Woodard wanted it.
24-19. We'll be back right after this. The Plymouth player of the game to be selected at the conclusion of this game during every game. Televised by the Big East Conference Television Network as part of the Chrysler Corporation sponsorship of Big East basketball. It's a Connecticut possession.
Well, we thought Robinson and Grice would be critical in this game. They've somewhat neutralized each other down low. Robinson with 4, Grice with 6 points. But the freshman Chris Smith has been the differential for UConn. He's got 10 in this first half.
And he got him very early in the first half. Here's Gamble. Drives on Massey. Massey locked it right out of bounds. Good defense.
And Cliff Robinson had good position that time. Grice behind him. Got to get the ball to his side of the floor to get the good angle to dump it down low to him.
Williams trying to inbound. Does to Lyman DePriest. Also in the ball game, Robinson and Chris Smith here with the ball. And Williams.
There it is. That's the way they've got to do it.
Squares up on Grice and short.
Fading away. Got to get it to the goal. Stronger than that. Robinson with the fadeaway.
Benny Wilson. Delivers to Massey in the corner, guarded by Williams. Taylor against Robinson. There's your walk.
Yeah, that was no doubt about that one.
10th turnover for Villanova. And Raleigh Massimino can't like that one bit.
Hey, squad, fellas! Good job, ladies. Good job.
All right, DePriest sits down for Connecticut, and Sellers comes back in. Chris Smith with 10 lightning-quick points early in the ball game on a couple of threes. Here's another tough shot. Offensive board, Sellers. Grice got a hand on it, but a foul by Taylor, I believe, before the block by Grice.
Well, the one thing that Chris Smith is doing in this first half when he's not scoring, he's penetrating, drawing some attention. The offensive rebounding that much more open. Rodney Taylor with the body. Jim Calhoun always working things from the sideline, as does Rolly Massimino.
First foul on Taylor. The freshman Sellers. Perfect.
Rod Sellers is the second leading rebounder on the Husky team behind Cliff Robinson. really given some surprise, very big contributor this year for the Husky program.
Didn't have a particularly strong game the first time out against Villanova. But Sellers has a couple of free throws there, and it's a 26-19 Connecticut lead. And the Wildcats come up with the ball.
This man's got to get more involved.
McLeod looking right at West defensively.
Doug West has got to put some points up there. They've got to find Grice down low.
Sellers got a hand in there somewhere. Robinson come down with the loose ball.
It's been about 7 minutes since the Wildcats have made a field goal.
Smith straight on, in and out for a 3-try. Doug West.
Kind of a quick one by the freshman, but he's right on the basket with his last couple of shots, just haven't gone down.
Cliff Robinson the foul as he and Grice joust.
Yeah, that's an interesting matchup in this one. No question about it. And Robinson working hard to get the fronting position. Hooked Grice a little bit there. And right here, just a little too much body. Good call.
Tom Grice goes to the free throw line. Tallest player in the history of Villanova basketball. History of 7-3. Grice has himself 6 points, 4 rebounds. And tonight he is 3 of 5 from the field. Not a good-looking free throw there by Tom. 26-19, 7-point Connecticut lead, and the Huskies have the ball. Wilson will come up and play Smith. Robinson setting screens. Little pick and roll from outside. Robinson in and out. Tip followed by Sellers. Oh, it's going to go against Sellers.
All right, UConn just can't get it to go down right now. Probably not a bad move by Robinson to try to get out of the congestion a little, to get one to go down. Seems to be a lid on it. Chris Smith has had a couple rim jobs. That one was halfway down, came out. Sellers, pretty big climb job inside.
Second foul on Sellers. Greg Woodard comes into the game and Tom Grice leaves. So Villanova works with Wilson, Massey, Taylor, West, and the freshman Woodard. Taylor has made 3 free throws tonight from the line, 3 of 4.
He's a tough kid. Remember we had him earlier this year in the upset win for the Wildcats at the Spectrum against the then number 3 ranked Syracuse Orangemen, and Rodney Taylor went down with a, looked like a badly sprained ankle in that game. Remember him coming off the bench and just shrugged off the pain.
Yep. And that spurred his club on too at that point. Rodney Taylor's a good free throw shooter. He makes about 3 of 4. 75%. Boy, he's got all his points, 5 of them from the line.
Little pressure by the Wildcats, man-to-man style.
That gets the Wildcats to within 5 of the Huskies, 26-21.
It's the kind of game where you've got to make your runs off the defense. Villanova did it earlier. We'll see if they can do it again.
Freshman Smith will pick up the foul for Connecticut. No, it's on Rodney Taylor. Smith thought it was on him.
Willie Massimino gets Taylor right out. Doesn't want to see his power forward pick up number 3 with just a minute 52 to go in the first half.
Woodard comes out of the lineup. Walker is in. And now Sellers leaves.
It's the same substitution by Jim Calhoun. Sellers with 2 personals.
Replaced by Lyman DePriest. At the free throw line, Cliff Robinson. Robinson has 5. His average is just under 19 a game.
Number 6 all-time Husky scorer with better than 1,440 points coming into this one.
Way off the mark.
Now, a good follow, though, by Robinson. That's kind of a dangerous cross-court pass, though.
And Connecticut will reload. Wilson harassing Smith.
Now the shooter often has the best angle for the offensive rebound and knows where it's going to go.
DePriest finds some room and scooped it up off the glass. Excellent offensive move down the baseline by Lyman DePriest. He now has 4.
Found the opening.
29-21 Huskies. Crowd getting a little anxious at the DuPont Pavilion.
DePriest really working Doug West.
Oh, offensive move, one-on-one creating is Doug West. He has 5. That's what he has to do a lot more of.
Really does. He just hasn't had the shot opportunities in this first half. He's been limited.
Connecticut with 6 offensive rebounds. Villanova with 2. And those offensive boards have accounted for some points for Connecticut. 29-23 Huskies. Man-to-man right now by Villanova.
I was going to say, and they've really turned it up a couple of notches defensively.
Shot to Robinson. Behind him, it's Grice. Shot clock was wearing down. Robinson fills it. He has 7.
That was probably Connecticut's best ball movement of the first half. And they found their big gun, Cliff Robinson. So much pressure on him game in, game out to come up big for the Huskies.
Villanova's been in a bit of a scoring drought.
Connecticut plays a pretty big zone with DePriest and Robinson on the wings of this 1-3-1. A lot of good size out there.
Grice in the lane. 13 seconds remaining. DePriest fouled him.
Going to be on the floor.
So it's a 1-and-1. And DePriest picks up the personal. Only 13 seconds to go first half. 31-23. And the visiting Connecticut Huskies lead it.
Anytime you see an official pointing to the floor on that kind of plays, trying to let everyone know that the foul was committed before the player got into the act of shooting. DePriest with the reach-in hack on Grice before he was able to load up.
So it's not an automatic 2. Instead, it's a 1-and-1. Grice can go and stop the blocks.
This kid made incredible improvement between his freshman and sophomore seasons here at Villanova. Just unbelievable. Plus, he's grown, so he's really turned out to be a dominant factor inside this league.
And has worked to improve his strength as well in the last 2 years or so, and he's so much stronger now than he was when he was a freshman. He worked on it. Grice had a couple of free throws.
Plus, he's just plain tall. He's standing there next to him when he's taking layups. He's a big boy, and he's got a very soft touch.
Smith for 3 with 5 seconds to go.
I think the official, Tom Corbin, from across the court is saying 2. Yeah.
Yep. But 2 is what Chris Smith ends up with, and Connecticut will go to the locker room right now with a 33-25 lead over Villanova here in Philadelphia. We'll be back right after these messages from your local stations. Frank Daly with Ron Perry back here at the DuPont Pavilion on the campus of Villanova University. And right now, the University of Connecticut enjoys a 33-25 lead after 20 minutes of play. Ron, any surprises in that first half? How about the play of Smith of Connecticut?
Well, I don't know how big a surprise that is, but we thought if he had a big game, that could be a very big plus for UConn. And likewise, we thought if Dowdell played well for Nova, that could be very big for the Wildcats. But Smith, with a dozen first-half points, has really been on top of his game. Thought the defense would be very important. It's really been a defensive struggle in this first half. Villanova's got to find ways to penetrate better against UConn in the second half to be successful. But defense is really going to trigger the win for either team in this game.
At the half, an 8-point lead right now for Connecticut over Villanova. You know, this year, a lot of very exciting freshmen around the Big East are on display, and we're going to take a look at them right now after these messages from your local stations.
You got to look at any conference in America for 88, 89. You'd have to say the Big East had the best recruiting class in the nation coming in from top to bottom. You look at every school out there is getting a player that maybe can be sort of an impact player that can step in immediately and help. And the 88 class out of high school, to me, is the greatest class ever assembled.
The main entree in this Big East freshman feast is Georgetown's Alonzo Mourning.
Alonzo Mourning, I mean, it's early, but I mean, we happened to catch his first Big East game, a road game, 19,700 people against a senior front court, you know what I mean, which is a pretty tough assignment, and he was the dominant player in the game. So, I mean, to me, it's scary what the rest of Alonzo Mourning's career is going to be like. I think he's the best freshman in the country by far.
Right behind Mourning is Syracuse's Billy Owens, who is second on the Orangemen in steals and rebounds.
You know, he fits into the category of one that could be one of the great ones. That word maybe is sometimes overused, but he certainly has a chance with having the opportunity to play early at Syracuse. The fact that he is highly skilled, you know, I think he'll just keep getting better and better.
While Mourning and Owens have garnered much of the early attention, St. John's has a trio of freshmen who have been forced into the spotlight. and they've responded.
Start with the center, and I'm talking about Robert Wardan. I know he's big, but I think what's very, very good about him that he's very flexible. He can handle the ball, he can move, and he feels the game well. And as he gets stronger, he's going to be a force in the pivot. Malik, when we talk about Malik, you're talking about almost a complete player. Even at this early stage, he sees the game from the forward spot. He can handle a bit in the backcourt. He can drive, he's working on his jumper, and he makes the other guys better. The little kid, Jason Buchanan, we're very happy. I know you started to smile about him. I think in an open field, he's very, very, very entertaining and exciting. He's working on his shot, and when he gets his strength, he'll be a big, big contributing factor to our program.
Another freshman who is adjusting quickly to life in the Big East is Villanova's Mark Dowdell. The Howell, New Jersey native has become the Cats' sixth man and is getting over 20 minutes of playing time per game. Connecticut guard Chris Smith has been hampered by a nagging ankle injury, but when healthy, he has been a major contributor to the Husky attack. At Boston College, high-scoring guard Brian Edwards got off to a slow start, but his return to form should give the Eagle offense a much-needed boost. Defensively, Georgetown's Dikembe Mutombo has been a tremendous force on the inside, and his 12 blocks against St. John's broke Patrick Ewing's conference record.
Halftime here at Villanova, 33-25. The Huskies lead it. We'll be back after these messages from your local stations. Tonight's second half of Big East basketball is brought to you by U.S. Air. U.S. Air warms up your winter with flights to Florida, Arizona, and California. By your local Chrysler, Plymouth, and Dodge dealers. By Reebok basketball shoes. When the new legends are made, they'll be wearing Reeboks. And by John Hancock Financial Services. Real life, real answers.
UConn basketball is brought to you in part by your Connecticut Pontiac dealers.
There's our halftime score. The Huskies on top of the Wildcats. Ron Perry, let's take a quick look at West in action.
Well, that's right. He was limited in scoring in this first half, but he made a big one from three-point territory early to tie the score at 14. Just hasn't gotten many shots off in this first half. When he has, the offensive rebounding has been limited by the Cats. At that time, Tommy Grice able to convert Villanova with just 3 first-half offensive rebounds. Cliff Robinson came on late in the first half after starting off very slow from the floor with 2 of his 7 first-half points. And we saw some good action up and down there.
Chris Smith has been the offensive story for Connecticut. Here he is in action, filling it up from 3 deep in the corner. He has 12 first-half points.
Plus, he really helped UConn come out of the gates quickly in that first half. Always important to get off to a good start, particularly when you're on the road.
Connecticut will go with Williams and Gamble. And here Chris Smith, Robinson, and also Sellers. Robinson against Grice. Grice blocked it from behind. Sellers picked it up and walked.
Start of the second half, just as important as the start of the ball game. Villanova unable to get much going in that first half offensively. Neither team shot it particularly well. Free throws even. The turnover numbers, some of those unforced efforts by the Wildcats, and offensive rebounding, which you don't see there. 7-3 advantage for Connecticut. 3-pointers, pretty even.
Still a Villanova ball. Villanova goes with West, Dowdell, Massey. Walker is in the ball game, along with Grice.
Huskies starting out in a man-to-man defense. Villanova opened up in their matchup zone.
Massey makes Williams into the paint.
Very close to a walk there. Tom Grice on top of the leaderboard scoring for Villanova in the first half. Kenny Wilson blanked in the first half, didn't score a point. And Doug West somewhat quiet with 5 points.
And Walker has started in place of Kenny Wilson for the Wildcats here in the second half. Massey against Williams. Kicks it back out to Doug West. 4-3. Smith corrals the rebound on the transition. Smith. Nope. West comes back. Got Massey on the wing. Up and down action now. Smith. Robinson. Williams. Try to bank, no. Defensive board. Grice stolen by Williams. Williams against Tom Grice. Oh, what a move!
Murray Williams somehow.
How are ya? He's got 3.
Scoops it underneath Tom Grice. Tommy Grice, a careless outlet pass that time. He thought he double bumped and had it, but it wasn't there.
Spectacular basket by Murray Williams. Dowdell, the freshman. Mark Dowdell was 6. 35-27. Still Connecticut. Now the tempo slows.
Dowdell very active, the freshman forward. Not an easy game to make up a lot of points. The tempo very slow.
No question about it. Gamble took steps.
Good call.
Wally Massimino, 16th season. Looking for win number 414 tonight. Villanova has 11 turnovers in the game, and Connecticut has 7. We look at Connecticut on offense.
And it hasn't been an up-tempo game. There's just been a lot of defensive intensity in the half-court set.
This is Villanova on offense. Massey inside the ring, short. Robinson clamps down the board.
UConn's really done a good job boxing out defensively in this one, limiting those second-chance efforts.
Smith against Walker.
Boy, he's got a string on the ball, doesn't he?
Doesn't look like a freshman. Robinson has trouble. Fade away.
Tough shot.
Hits it. He's got 9. He has heated up late in the first half, and good start here in the second half. 37-27, 10-point Connecticut lead.
1-3-1 by the Huskies.
Walker for 3. Get it!
Chris Walker hit one of those threes in the first half. Not afraid to step in there, just drill it.
His 6 points have come from 3-point range. Made them both. Smith, baseline push. No roll for him. Rebound, volleyballs are out. Tipped in by Robinson.
Villanova's got to put a body on the UConn Huskies. There were 2 or 3 blue jerseys all over that rebound.
39-30. Connecticut.
We thought rebounding and defense would be the keys, and it seems to be playing out that way in a very half-court oriented game.
Dowdell hits a 14-footer. And you said at the top of the broadcast, Ron, that some of the freshmen could be key, and Dowdell is for Villanova, and certainly Smith here for Connecticut.
Both teams play very similar styles, and a lot of the really fine players out there neutralizing each other in this one.
Smith takes Walker low. Robinson with a follow!
Oh, amazing effort now by Robinson.
When he heats up, watch out. He has 13, averaging 19 a game.
Again, no one putting a body on Big 00, and he's showing in this spurt here that he can really take over a game inside.
41-32. McLeod out of handling the ball and forced the turnover. Smith against Walker. Got by him. Villanova will come back.
Broke the plane of the backboard, and that is a violation. It goes back Nova way. Last touch by Connecticut.
Wally Massimino wants to see his Cats get going offensively now. They trail 41-32.
Crowd out of the game right now, too. They're not involved because Villanova can't get it going offensively.
Good ball movement. Grice on the end of it.
That's some good offense.
Boy, that swung down low to Grice quickly. He has 10.
That's why coaches are always stressing. Move the basketball and you'll find the openings. And there goes the crowd a little bit.
McLeod got a screen. Grice came up and fouled him.
3 white fouls. His second.
Second personal on Tom Grice.
Button is now unloosened on Jim Calhoun's neck. They're all involved in the ball game. Both coaches really working it hard on the sidelines. Both intense competitors.
McLeod steps to the free throw line. Willie is a senior. his 5 a ball game. And the graphic shows he's a good free throw shooter.
Nice touch.
He's at his average. Crowd has also pulled down a couple of rebounds.
Bench plays a big role for Jim Calhoun's team. He's getting some production in this one, too, between Sellers, DePriest, and Willie McLeod. 11 points now, and this guy has really provided a big lift off the bench as the season has worn on.
Very patient is McLeod. You can see why. We've got a timeout, 15:32 to go in the ball game. 43-34 Connecticut. We'll be back after these messages. One of the most exciting plays here in the second half was a Murray Williams drive over the big guy for 2.
Oh, I don't know how he got it off. He went up against the 7'3" man. Murray Williams, 6'7". Got the job done there, didn't he? Acrobatic.
Speaking of getting the job done right now, Connecticut out rebounding 7-2 against Villanova here in the half, and Robinson has 4 rebounds in this half.
Really come out aggressively and figured, hey, I'm going to get it off the boards.
Massey can't get it to Grice. Another mistake.
Overpassing a little bit there. Too close to each other. Too close to the goal.
Smith and the Huskies rotate on offense. Kenny Wilson did not start at the point. Walker did for Villanova here in this half.
He was blanked in the first half, did not score.
Robinson, baseline fade. He's got the hot hand. He has 15. That is game high.
Wow, he's really come alive in the second half. Villanova's got to double down on him and try to front a bit more.
Connecticut in that zone. West on the perimeter. Off to Walker. That was a 3 try. And Massey and the Huskies reload for another chance. Make that Villanova now drops down to Grice. Against Robinson. Grice blocked by Robinson, fouled by Robinson.
Cliff can't believe it, but Tommy Grice, give him credit, he really stays with this one, gets good position. Did look like a lot of ball on the rejection. Robinson did come down with the arm, though, and catch some arm. He's got a smile. He knows he got a lot of ball.
Well, that foul will send Tom Grice to the free throw line. Grice is the top Villanova scorer. Tate George comes in and Phil Gamble leaves for the Huskies.
Phil did a good job defensively guarding Doug West, denying the basketball, but the shots really haven't been there for Gamble in this one. Hit one lone three-pointer.
Rice is short that time.
Roley right now just can't believe what he's seeing and kicks back and then perks up. He knows his team needs a spark right now.
Right now, Grice has 5 rebounds, so he's almost at his average. He leads the line, making 1 of 2 and 11 points.
And Villanova's going to try to get that lift, which has been really the storyline of this one off their defense. Full court pressure now. Mark Dowdell, freshman, on the ball. That's too far. Nice catch.
Williams caught up to it, and Grice caught up to him and fouled him. Grice doesn't like that call one bit.
Murray Williams, though, really ran that ball down.
That's the 3rd on Grice. Take another look at it.
Murray's got the good speed, the long arms. He tracks it down. Tom Grice, they have a case there. He's standing with his arms straight up. Sometimes when you're 7'3", awfully difficult to hide out there, and you pick up some of those touch fouls.
Williams will shoot 2. Williams will shoot 1. What a pretty good game last time against these Villanova Wildcats.
Not to mention the last one he made in that game, the game winner.
Yep, right at the second, coast to coast on the drive and scored. West against Tate George takes him corner of the key. Massey got a screen from Dowdell, didn't shoot. Walker with a baseline run, shut down.
Connecticut is just not giving Villanova anything too easy in this game. Surprised that Wilson is sitting as long as he is. Massimino really going with the freshman Walker right here.
West forces a 14-footer.
Again, not an easy try by the Wildcats.
McLeod, short pull-up, and he drains it.
Now this lead right now up to 13 for the Huskies. has really been generated off the defensive end, and Rolly Massimino wants to try to turn things around.
Timeout. 13:34 to go. 48-35. We'll be back after these messages from your local stations. Ronnie Perry, Cliff Robertson really has keyed the second half surge for the Huskies.
That's right. 8 out of UConn's 15 second half points with those kind of moves, which weren't dropping in the first half. He is really the key man for UConn, as he's now got his game in high gear. Tommy Grice, who was just handling, is the leading scorer for Villanova with 11. Our two really key players up front in this game.
There's the freshman David Miller now on the point. Massey, deep in the wing. Nowhere to go. Quick hands of Tate George.
Yeah, we don't see Kenny Wilson out there. Didn't get it done in the first half. Hasn't played here in the second. And this Wildcat offense not in any kind of flow right now.
Dell comes out. Rodney Taylor comes in. West is just 2 for 6 from the field.
That's not enough shots for Doug West, though. He's got to try to set some screens. He's got to try more individual moves to get open.
Ice is doubled and foul. Murray Williams picked up that personal. That's number 3 on him. And that makes the third team foul. Villanova has 2 at this point. And Williams is out. And McLeod is in. Taking it strong to the basket. Taylor slapped away from behind by Robinson.
He's been everywhere in this second half.
And a brilliant second half. 8 points in this half, 15 in the game. Villanova trailing 48-35.
5 seconds, very close.
Turnover. Defense forces the mistake by Villanova.
UConn has really had that D in high gear. They've got a lot of good, quick athletes in that 6'5" range. But Cliff Robinson has turned his game up several notches here in the second half.
14th turnover for Villanova. The Priest needs some help. Smith, short. Another chance.
Oh, he got it way up.
Basket. Bryce got the board, then he was fouled.
Tate George on the reach. Chris Smith, perhaps a little quick on his first toss. That second one, great individual move. Jimmy Calhoun just says, settle down a little bit. His freshman, very talented.
Tate George on the personal is second. Another look at it.
He got it up there, just not high enough off the glass. And Tommy Grice, he's up there alone as he gets hacked from behind by George.
Here's Wilson in the ball game right now, matched up against Smith.
Well, he's had a few minutes to think it over. Let's see if Kenny Wilson comes out and penetrates the way we've seen him do it in the past.
Taylor inside, looped it over McLeod. Another chance. Taylor, oh, he's tough on the offensive board. Rodney Taylor with 7, 48-37, Connecticut.
And more importantly, Taylor with that aggressive move. Maybe that aggressive-ness will rub off on the rest of the Cats. That's what they need right now on the defensive end.
Tate George running the show now, met up by Doug West. Post-up pass down to Robinson again.
Oh, he's been so tough.
As for a 3-point play, yeah, you counted. Cliff Robinson with 17.
He is so tough in low. Double pump move. Yeah, count it. He got hacked on the play. Gonna have to try to front Robinson if they can. On the other end, Rodney Taylor with a second effort. Got the job done.
So the 4th personal foul on Tom Grice sends the big guy to the bench there. And he's replaced by Mark Dowdell. Robinson can't make it a 3-point play. Connecticut is still alive, as is Robinson.
Oh, that was a careless one by the big guy.
With the steal.
Connecticut out hustling Villanova for the ball right now.
Kenny Wilson's got to do something for his Wildcats now. Wilson tried to penetrate, stripped of the ball. Villanova will still have it.
But we may have to start saying, as goes Cliff Robinson, so go the Huskies. He's really poured it on, and they're riding it with him.
16-footer won't go for West. DePriest gets the ball.
That's been the story of this really second half and most of the ball game for Villanova. Just won't go down for them.
13-point lead for Connecticut. Robinson, corner of the key. Short. Offensive board. Gamble! Count the basket!
Oh, my, they're going to score that one. Gamble very heads up, throws that shot up after he hears the whistle. What a shot here by Phil Gamble. He gets chopped on the head and just flings it up there. Count it. Oh, tough shot. Husky bench on their feet. They should be.
Rodney Taylor's third foul. Raleigh Massimino making more substitutions. Massey comes out. And Greg Woodard comes in. There's a look at the freshman. Gamble trying to make it a three-point play. The senior out of Washington, D.C. averages 12.3 per ball game. And he makes it a three-point play the old-fashioned way. (53-37) Connecticut. Look at the offensive rebounding difference. Connecticut 13-6.
Yeah, they're really out hustling Villanova off the boards right now.
West is going to do more of that. Create. Doug West with his third field goal.
Yeah, he's got to just do those one-on-one moves in his own. Try to make it happen. 1-3-1 trap now by Villanova.
Robinson spins. Can't scoop it. DePriest with a reach-in against Taylor. Second foul on Lyman DePriest. That is the 15th foul on Connecticut. Villanova with 4. Here at the DuPont Pavilion. Wildcats are down 53-39. Wilson on top of the ball. Doug West, 4-3. Short all the way. Another chance.
Oh, that looked like a double dribble by Taylor.
I thought they were going to call it, but no. Connecticut ball.
Wow, that was a wild series. It looked like Taylor caught that ball, grabbed it, and then dribbled it again, which is a double dribble. Let's take a look at it. Long rebound, catches it, yeah, and then he comes back down with it. That was a double dribble. Then McLeod with a good heads-up anticipation.
Woodard reached in against Robinson.
It's always easy for us when we get that second look in slow motion. It happens so quickly. Don't see too many double dribbles, but that was one right there.
Wildcats are not taking good care of the ball now, as Connecticut has the advantage in that statistical category. Robinson, wild shot, off balance.
The Connecticut starts to get it going good, then they want to make it happen too quickly. Last couple of times, I think they've gone at their offense where they could have worked it around a little bit more.
Let's check that Villanova lineup. It's Dowdell, Taylor, and Woodard, along with West, and right now Kenny Wilson on the ball.
Wilson still yet to score in this one.
Taylor saves trouble. There's West, scooping and getting fouled. Boy, West really got up that time.
Did he ever? That was such a quick first step by West. Look at that move by West. He just leaves DePriest that time in his tracks, and DePriest, one of the best defenders on the Huskies, if not in the Big East. Couldn't stay with him on that one.
So Doug West only was 7. The senior out of Pennsylvania, Altoona. Got to get going right now. He's far below his average at 18.8. Good-looking free throw.
He's looking much more aggressive with the ball right now. The wide open shots just haven't been there, and he's saying right now, I've got to create when I get the opportunity.
He is only 3 of 9 from the field. Knocked down 2 that time. West leads the line with 9.
Full court pressure by Villanova, 1-2-1-1.
53-41, Connecticut.
They want to try to create a little transition basketball now and try to get a couple of points on the boards and chop this 12-point deficit down. Back to a 1-3-1 zone with West at 6-7 on the top. Nice ball movement.
Gamble for 3. Missed the gym. Wilson trying to get some points. Finally got 3. His first 3 of the ball game. 9:35 remaining, and Villanova crawls back 53-44. Huskies lead. We'll be back after this from your local stations.
The
the Plymouth Player of the Game to be selected at the conclusion of this game and during every game televised by the Big East Conference Television Network as part of the Chrysler Corporation's sponsorship of Big East basketball. All right, here we go now. Villanova's trying to get back in it. They cut the lead back down to 9 and can cut it less right now.
That was a great trap by Villanova. Rodney Taylor had the hands up in the trap, deflected it in the steal.
Wilson. Got it! Wilson with 5 quick points.
Well, he was on the bench for the first 6 to 7 minutes of this second half. He is keying this surge right now, as is the defensive pressure by Villanova.
Coming up to the 9-minute mark of the game, 53-46.
Crowd's back into it. This is where UConn really has to keep their poise.
Robinson fades from the baseline. McLeod tip, no foul on Dowdell.
That's where UConn has hurt Villanova in this second half. And out of the 1-3-1, it's difficult sometimes to find a man and box out. McLeod almost jams that one down, and he was ridden out of the play by Dowdell. That's your call.
We've seen Robinson quite often tonight go to the baseline and take those little fades as opposed to powering it.
Yeah, he really, I thought he should have gotten it to the goal more in the first half. Second half, he's found the hot hand.
Gamble against Massey. Tough shot from the foul line under all kinds of pressure. Wilson leads the break. Now makes the proper decision. And they'll rotate on offense.
UConn really going at it quickly now offensively. Really got to work hard to keep their poise amidst all this noise.
West posting up against George. No basket. Common foul before the shot. Tate George picks up his 4th. (53-46) Connecticut. And West is at the line to shoot a couple for Raleigh Massimino and the Wildcats.
Villanova 6-2 this year here at the DuPont, which seats a little bit better than 6,500 fans. They really get into it. It's about as loud as you can imagine for a home court team. West is really coming alive now. He's got himself into double figures.
53-48 Connecticut. Turnover. Wilson against Robinson.
Jim Calhoun may have to use a timeout.
That's the 4th foul on Robinson.
UConn is having all kinds of trouble against this full court pressure. They're allowing themselves to really get trapped in the deep corner, and that's the key to the press. There it is again. Deflection and turnover. I think that's number 3 on Big Cliff.
Wilson was 6. An excellent free throw shooter. Wilson gets them both. And the Wildcats cut the lead to 3.
Nice pass.
Smith to Gamble. That'll quiet down the crowd. Gamble has 8.
But Villanova's really made up a lot of this deficit with the full court pressure. Connecticut 1-3-1 trap now. Wilson's made a big difference since he's come into the ball game. Off the press, scoring, penetrating, running the ball club.
He had a long time to sit at the start of the second half, but he has learned his lessons well on the bench. He's making it happen now for Villanova. Feel that pressure against Wilson.
I mean, Wilson's been through a lot. He's been in the tournament. He's been around.
West, that's a 3 try. Taylor offensive board. Rodney Taylor with 9.
That's number 4 on Robinson. No one puts a body on Taylor. Robinson playing from behind. And there's your foul. Bad positioning.
Robinson with 4 personal fouls. Tate George also has 4. 7:42 to go, and Villanova making noise. We'll be back right after this. Come back here in the second half. How come?
Defense. They got Wilson back into the ball game, and they put the full court press on. Wilson had hit a couple of shots. He's penetrating, making things happen. West has gotten more involved offensively, and all of a sudden, it's a much more aggressive Villanova team, much the same way UConn had been playing.
Rodney Taylor at the free throw line.
Thought UConn, when they built their lead, started to go at their offense too quickly. Couple of quick misses, and Villanova right back into this thing.
So the junior has surpassed his game average. Couldn't get anything that time. 55-52. Villanova gets to within 3. Huskies with the ball in the lead. Gamble works with Chris Smith.
1-3-1 by Villanova.
McLeod, Robinson, and Murray Williams also along the front line for Connecticut.
Nice pass
from Robinson to Gamble. Excellent look by Robinson off to Gamble, and he may have hurt himself in that basket.
And he comes up holding the right knee a little bit. That was some move by Gamble.
It's Villanova's turn. West on the sideline to Wilson, who's keyed the spirit. Kicks off to Messi, guarded by McLeod. Wilson, that's a 3 try. Villanova ball. Got a report that Pittsburgh is leading Seton Hall 65-58 with 5 minutes to go.
That'll be a huge win for Pittsburgh. They've already beaten Seton Hall.
Another chance for Villanova. And a close ball game in Providence.
That's another beauty. The first one, 100-96, a win for Syracuse at the Carrier Dome. Big night for Big East hoops.
Dowdell could not get the shot off. He was fouled. And he'll go to the line.
That's a huge foul, too. That was on number 0, Cliff Robinson. That's all.
That's his 5th.
With a lot of time to go. There it is, a real touch foul, too, by Robinson. Clearly not the kind of foul he wants to go out on.
Well, he had one heck of a second half. He leaves the game with 17 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 blocked shots. Tough walk for Cliff Robinson over to the Husky bench. Lyman DePriest will come in. Taylor leads the ball game. Grice is in for Villanova, along with Dowdell, Welch, Wilson, and Gary Messi. And Jim Calhoun now is going to wonder what difference is this going to make with his big player on the bench fouling out Robinson.
Well, he knows it's going to make a big difference. It's so tough for him to go to his bench when Robinson gets in a foul trouble, but to lose him with 6:18 to go on the road. He knows other people are going to have to just elevate their games.
Dowdell gets 2 free throws. 57-54. Huskies lead the Wildcats by 3. We have 6:08 to go. Williams, no. McLeod tip, no. Another chance, Connecticut. Tate George will pull it out on the perimeter.
Tate George, 6'5" backcourt man, did a nice thing there to get it back out. Didn't have a good opportunity.
Tate George gets a good look now at that Villanova defense.
This game's starting to play out the way we thought it might, Frank. Half-court chess match.
Straight on, Smith, a 3 try, no. Another chance, DePriest, tough shot, tough basket hit by DePriest.
Both teams are just going at each other right now. It's a battle out there.
59-54, Connecticut.
Lyman DePriest, very productive off the bench in this one. He's got got 6, but he's played really tough out there.
Another turnover, Villanova. And the tempo is slow now for Connecticut. On the ball, Tate George.
Bryce with 4 fouls now, but no one really near him in height with Robinson out of the game. He should be a factor down the stretch for the Cats.
Smith against Kenny Wilson.
Matter of fact, Bryce is playing to Priest right now. He's Priest at 6'5".
Cloud holds on to it. Back to Ryan to Priest. Tough shot here. Last trip down. 4 minutes and 42 seconds to go. Massey with a foul.
Massey, another player in this game. Normally you're saying his name a lot because he's around the ball like here. He's yet to score in this one. I think that was really a no call. I thought there was some acting there by Massey to get an offensive. I didn't think an offensive was there, but I didn't think Massey didn't have to foul either. Might have just let it go. Play on.
Tate George for Connecticut will shoot 1 and 1. Take a look at Tate George's numbers. He's been shut out. But this game, he has yet to score. He's on the scoreboard. Tate George is one of the best at helping out in Connecticut history. Number 2 on the all-time assist list.
And a lot of UConn people have to get it done. The man you just saw on the bench, Cliff Robinson, out with fouls.
It's a 6-point Connecticut lead as Villanova goes on the attack. 4 minutes and 34 seconds remaining.
Wilson's got to handle as much as possible now for Rolly Massimino's club. Create, penetrate, set the table for Doug West and other people inside like Dowdell and Taylor.
Look goes into Rodney Taylor. He can't hold on to it. McLeod came up with a mistake.
3 UConn players surrounded Taylor on that one. Should have just kicked it right back out.
Good defense that trip by Connecticut. Now the Huskies rotate on offense. (60-54) Connecticut. Chris Smith, the freshman, a miss. Taylor with a defensive board. And Kenny Wilson with a drive. He's tripped.
I think they got Chris Smith up top.
And Wilson's going to go 1 and 1.
I think they might have called it on Murray Williams.
His 4th.
Take your pick.
But in any event, Kenny Wilson at the free throw line, shut down in the first half. All his points have come in the second half.
There are 3 timeouts left for the Cats, 2 for the UConn Huskies, and the possession arrow right now favors Villanova.
Kenny Wilson knocks them both down. So he leaves the line with 9 points, full court pressure by Villanova against Connecticut. Here's Chris Smith to Priest. Good look, Murray Williams. It's going to be a blocking call.
That's good ball movement by UConn against the pressure, really attacking, bringing the ball up court. Chris Smith, so tough in the open court. We talked about him. He didn't play in the first meeting between these 2 teams. The difference he makes, he can really penetrate.
He's a sophomore, averaging 7.3 per game. Not too bad a free throw shooter. Just under 70%. Rattles that one in. Murray has 5. And he also has 6 rebounds this night. Tonight we'll check him for 7. Made 1 of 2. 61-56, Connecticut. Well, the Wildcats have the ball. It's their turn now. Now Dell cross courts it all the way over to Wilson against Tate George. Mismatch there in favor of Tate. Now Dell against McLeod. Oh, tough shot hit.
Yeah, these freshmen, we talk about freshmen a lot, but they don't play in the pressure situations. Good timeout under pressure by Maury Williams. He was running out of time.
Under 3 to play, 61-58. Huskies will be back after this. Don't go away, folks. Still plenty of basketball left. Under 3 to play, 61-58. Let's look at the freshman score.
Dardell with a good ball fake. No hesitation, nothing but net. Must have ice in his veins.
Connecticut ball. Smith and George in the ball game, along with DePriest and Murray Williams. This is McLeod. No. Down a big rebound from Villanova.
Murray Williams, or I should say Willie McLeod, didn't give himself a good angle for that one. Took a tough shot. Dowdell seems to be everywhere right now.
George gives Wilson a lot of room. Dowdell, lob it to Taylor, and he's fouled.
Probably a pretty good foul by DePriest. Taylor about to go in for an easy layup.
61-58, Connecticut. Lyman DePriest picks up that personal.
Huskies just trying to hang in there as a team under the boards with Cliff Robinson out of the game. Tom Price, though, on the Villanova bench as well, so he hasn't really been able to take over with Robinson out.
Taylor will get another one. And a big one it will be. He has 10 points and 5 rebounds at this point. Trying to pull Villanova to within 1. Taylor has made 7 of 9 from the line tonight. And it is a 1-point ball game. Connecticut. Gamble. And the crowd trying to help out at the DuPont Pavilion. Exhorting on their Wildcats to play defense.
Villanova in tight man-to-man pressure.
Coming up to the 2-minute mark. Tate George, a run to the baseline, and he banked it in.
That's a big basket by George. Tate's been around. He's handling it more and more here down the stretch.
3-point Husky lead. Villanova trails. They have the ball.
It's a big possession right now with just 1:40 to go. Villanova's been really trying to pressure it in, but West may just go one-on-one here.
Against Gamble.
Good D.
Excellent defense. Taylor at the basket, and he was fouled by McLeod. Oh, tough shot hit by Rodney Taylor, who has 13. It's worth another look.
Well, they've gone to this guy down the stretch. Once again, maybe a no call, good basket, but it didn't look like McLeod fouled on that play. He bodied up, but gave with it. But give Taylor credit for the strong move inside.
Rodney Taylor can pull his Wildcats even if he can make this free throw toss. Tie ball game, a minute 28 remaining.
UConn has 1 timeout left. Villanova has 3. Tate George really handling it in crunch time for the Huskies. This place is deafening right now. The ultimate thing that UConn has to do right here is keep their poise. Villanova guaranteed another possession.
Shot clock is at 18. Game clock a minute 1.
Smith on the penetration.
Smith. Wilson fouled it.
A lot of poise by the freshman. UConn just looked over at Jim Calhoun, put that thumbs up sign, which was the signal for a play, and Smith just went in there with a lot of confidence against Kenny Wilson, who's come on strong in this second half.
63-all, first high since 10:49 of the first half. Tom Grice into the game. Dowdell leads for Villanova. Chris Smith at the free throw line for Connecticut. Trying to break the tie.
Offensive substitution and a rebounding substitution by Massimino.
Just as cool as you please for the freshman.
His first point of the second half, but Chris Smith along with Mark Dowdell have certainly showed extremely well in this ball game.
Sellers comes in, Williams leads for the Huskies. 56 seconds remaining. That's a deceptive free throw percentage, as he hasn't played a whole lot.
That's right. He's only taken about 27 free throws coming into this one. Got them both.
Under pressure as well. Smith leaves the line. He has 14. 2-point Connecticut ball game, 65-63. Wilson against Smith.
Still enough time for Villanova to go inside and try to get the deuce. Rod Sellers really bodying up with Tom Grice in there. Nice look.
Massey, get it!
What a great feed by Kenny Wilson. Connecticut now can hold for the win right here.
And that is the last timeout for Connecticut.
The hardest thing to do now coming out of this timeout for UConn is going to be just to inbound the ball. Rolly Massimino, I'm sure, will put a lot of pressure. The ball will be taken out right in front of us at midcourt. Villanova with 3 timeouts left. UConn has just used up their last one, so they can't make a mental mistake and call one. It would be a technical foul. I look for UConn again to get it, probably see Tate George handle it, but as the clock winds down to about 10, I think they'll try to get it to the freshman, Chris Smith. He's so quick to just isolate and penetrate and try to either look for his own shot or dump off to Gamble or George.
So Connecticut has just spent their last timeout. Only 24 seconds remaining. 65-65, all tied. Cliff Robinson has been out of the ball game a little while now. He had fouled out earlier.
Better than 6 to go. As far as Villanova's concerned, they may try to get a quick steal, put all kinds of pressure on the basketball. May even see Tom Grice or one of the big guys put pressure on the ball itself to make it tough to see in. Villanova can't foul because it's a tie score, but once they do get it, I think if it's under 10 seconds, they'll go right at the basket. If there's more than 10 seconds, they'll probably call a timeout and try to set up a play.
Let's see what unfolds. Murray Williams will do the inbounding for Connecticut. Off to Tate George. West up there looking for help. They want to double the ball.
Tate George should never have killed his dribble like that. Got to keep your dribble alive. All the defensive players were really denying pressure.
8 seconds
Here's
remaining.
Smith. They're trying to get it to him, but they can't.
McLeod. No. That's it. Overtime. Connecticut does the job. They hold on to the ball.
Really didn't get a good shot off there. Smith was the man they were trying to get it to. Willie McLeod took it quickly and off balance. A tough shot. Good D by Villanova.
That was an interesting point you made about Tate George picking up his dribble and shouldn't have. But Connecticut does run the clock down as they go into an overtime here, holding in the final seconds.
Well, it's so tough. You draw that play up on the chalkboard, executing it under that kind of pressure in these circumstances is so tough. But when you kill your dribble and you're out that far, it's awfully tough to get your man. And McLeod here in desperation lets it fly. There was really enough time to penetrate a bit more. The bounce just gets batted around.
McLeod took that shot with about 3 seconds to go, so I suppose he perhaps could have moved in a little bit closer.
Yeah, but it's really tough. You know, you're looking up there. The last thing you want to do is hear the buzzer sound before you've even launched it. And I found more often than not that the player that you don't think is going to get the shot off, you don't design it for him in the timeout, is ultimately the guy that ends up getting the shot. So this has really come down now to a game of 5 minutes. This first basket in overtime, so critical. And we'll have a jump ball to start off the OT session.
So it appears that both games against these clubs in the Big East will go down to the wire. The first game was won in regulation by Connecticut, 57-55. this one is in overtime.
Frank, in the overtime session, each team picks up an additional timeout, so UConn will have one, and the Wildcats now have 4 because they had 3 at the end of regulation.
Villanova goes with Taylor, rather Massey. West, Grice, two-man game between West and Grice. Dowdell in the ballgame along with Wilson.
The way this game's been played, so half-court. That's why I think this first basket's so important.
Villanova with a turnover as Grice can't hold on to it. Connecticut comes back up with Smith, George, McLeod, Sellers, and Williams.
I really don't think we're going to see an overtime with a lot of points. Free throws will be critical. Got to execute now.
In front of the foul line, Williams misses.
Nice D again by Villanova. The intensity way up now on both ends.
4 minutes remaining in the overtime. A minute has elapsed. Rice triples. Nowhere to go.
Got to get rid of that ball. He was bumped down there, but he's got to get it. And when you triple team, you got to just dump it. Well, Rowley is just livid on the sideline. There was a lot of contact as the big guy, Grice, held that ball up over his head.
65 all. Into the overtime, 3:35 remaining.
Before the shot clock, which is now down to 20, teams used to hold for the last shot of the ball game in these instances.
Smith shot misses. Dowdell defensive board. Wilson looks to Rolly Massimino for the offensive sequence. Dowdell setting a screen. Smith ran into it momentarily.
Another Big East game down to the wire. Seen so many of them.
Into the hole, Grice. Grice again. He has 13. First point scored in the overtime.
This is the first lead that Villanova's had in a long time since early in the ball game. Grice, he's been foul plagued in the second half. That was a huge basket.
2:45 to go. Smith against Wilson. Grice with a defensive rebound. The long outlet to Massey.
Nice move by Massey. Massey, West, and Wilson. They're the big three seniors in this team. Heads up move to back it out. Work the clock.
Corner of the key jumper of West.
That would have been a big one.
Connecticut trails now, 67-65. The Huskies have the ball. Wildcats settle in defensively.
So tough now for Connecticut. They normally go to Cliff Robinson here. They've got to play without him. That was a reach-in foul. It's really, these free throws are critical now down the stretch. Maury Williams on the night has made 2 out of 5 attempts.
So Villanova coming off an overtime game against Providence on Tuesday, find themselves in it again.
Well, Villanova's had 9 games down to the wire this year. They've won 5, dropped 4. First outing between these two teams was one of them, and Connecticut came out on top by 2.
Maury Williams with another free throw, trying to pull his Huskies even. He does.
Now this is what it's all about in college athletics. All knotted up, couple to go. Quarterback so important here. Kenny Wilson for Villanova, and they'll use one here to talk over a little offensive strategy, and I'm sure he'll be the guy handling the basketball. With just 2:01 in overtime, this game's knotted up. We'll be back after this.
We are all locked up again. 2 minutes and 1 second to go in this first overtime. 67 apiece.
It's been a great battle. Both teams have let it all hang out defensively, gone right at each other, and I can't think of a lot of baskets in this game which have been really easy ones. It's been a struggle.
Ronnie, you said the overtime will be quiet offensively. You're right so far.
Yeah, it's really go at each other in the half-court set type of game. So it's just 2-2 so far in the OT session.
Massey the look to Grice.
Make it 4-2.
Wildcats lead by 2. Minute 38 seconds remaining.
Tommy Grice with all 4 Nova points in the extra session. UConn needs one badly right here. Tate George trying to take charge for the Huskies. They're spreading the floor. Nova in the man-to-man set. And when it's gotten short, Chris Smith has been the guy who's looked to penetrate. And they're screening for him now.
Smith finds Tate George.
There's no real inside post-up players in there for UConn right now. They've got to just try to penetrate and launch one. Oh, dangerous.
Massey on the steal. Foul by Smith.
That's a good foul by Smith.
Sure is.
Off the flat pass on the offensive end.
Good defense by Villanova this trip. Look at Massey. What a defender he is.
Again, that was a kill the dribble situation up top by Smith. Rather than get in there and penetrate, keep the dribble alive. On a heads-up play and foul at the other end and force Massey to connect from the line. Got to give a lot of credit to Villanova. They were down double figures in this second half. And they've got themselves back in with the pressure defense.
Villanova's been very good at the line tonight. Gary Massey is a good free throw shooter.
Best known for his defense, though, and he came through with a very big steal right there.
Not pretty, but he'll take it.
That first one's always the toughest one. Look for Villanova to get back defensively if he can make this second one.
70-67, Villanova. Minute 1 to go in this first overtime. Oh, Massey knocks down 2. Now the spread is 4 in favor of Villanova. Tate George blocked by Dowdell.
Oh, what an effort.
That might be the play of the game right there.
Well, 2 defensive plays in a row, and that's been the story in this ball game. There's still a lot of time, though. 47 seconds. Villanova's got to deliver from the line. Look at that effort by the freshman, Dowdell. Got all ball.
As he blocks Tate George.
Tate George took it hard to the goal. Dowdell rose to the occasion.
All right, so Tate George is gone now. He's all done. Finishes the game with only 3 points. Tate averages almost 8 a game.
He was there in the crunch, though. He did a lot of ball handling late in the ball game and in the overtime session. Chris Smith has really got to get it done now at the point for Jimmy Calhoun's team.
Kenny Wilson with all his points in this half.
This is where Villanova is so tough. They try to put the nail right now into this effort. They're getting it done from the line.
47 seconds remain. Wilson has really inspired his club in the second half. Made 1 of 2. Still time, 43 seconds to go. The freshman Smith to Murray Williams. He'll take the pop. He hadn't quite got set. Quinn reloads. No. Dowdell in there with a defensive board. And he's fouled by Murray Williams. When Dowdell got that rebound, he sort of cheered. As if to say, I got it, guys, I got it.
He's a real emotional player, Dowdell is. Very aggressive. He just had a huge block on the play before, and now gets it and really plays big. Gets a wide base, says, you're not going to get this ball away from me.
Whoa.
Wow, this is a game that UConn had. 0-0, Cliff Robinson fouls out with better than 6 to go. Villanova had started to make their run prior to that, but continued to make it with him on the bench. And then UConn's inside game has been sealed off, but it was Villanova's full court pressure in the second half that did the job to get them back in.
So Murray Williams has fouled out for Connecticut. And the Huskies and Wildcats are back. Villanova leads 72-67, and for most of the night, it was Connecticut. This kid Dowdell has had a nice ball game.